Hello, I'm Jaime Oxales. The purpose of this video is to discuss Nicholas Holland's scientific article, Chordates. In his article, he pointed out issues that hinder biologists in understanding the origin and evolution of chordates. Accordingly, he laid out several hypotheses based on fossil evidence which could lead to identifying their ancestors. Lastly, he talked about the emerging field of evolutionary developmental biology, which promises to provide insights to their evolution. A chordate is any member of the phylum Chordata, which is divided into three subphyla: Tunicata, Cephalochordata, and Vertebrata. Correspondingly, the first obstacle in understanding the evolution of chordates is the uncertain positioning of Tunicata and Cephalochordata within the phylum. According to Holland, scientists have reached a consensus that tunicates were positioned basal to cephalochordates, or Amphioxy. However, genetic analysis have had trouble supporting this postulation. For this reason, ascertaining their positions would prove useful in tracing back the ancestors of chordates. The second obstacle stems from the lack of credible fossils of early chordates. As explained by Holland, although there is fossil evidence that strongly indicates the early existence of tunicates and vertebrates, there is none that is indisputably recognized as cephalochordates. Such fossils would prove useful not only for ascertaining the respective positions of tunicates and cephalochordates, but also for recognizing the ancestral character states of early chordates. Accordingly, Holland brought up several hypotheses that could determine the origin of chordates. Among them are postulations based on fossils of animals that preceded the existence of chordates, such as Jeffrey's calcichordate theory, which proposes each lineage of the phylum Chordata evolved separately from bottom-dwelling armor-plated mitrates, and Zeke's proposal that the earliest chordates were derived from metameric diplurozoans. What led Jeffreys to believe that mitrates were the ancestors of chordates was that they possessed structures similar to pharyngeal slits, a distinctive feature of the phylum Chordata. As for Zeke, he believed that diplurozoans, characterized by their segmented dorsal hydraulic skeletons, resembled that of chordates. With a focus on testing these hypotheses and overcoming issues in deciphering the evolution of chordates, Holland talked about the emerging field of evolutionary developmental biology, also referred to as EvoDevo. EvoDevo utilizes an evolutionary mechanism, that is, the ability of organisms to conserve developmental genes among distantly related groups. He then scrutinized its advantages and limitations. He noted that its utilization of developmental gene expression to determine body part homologies among chordates will unquestionably provide insights to the genetic and morphological starting points of its evolution. However, he pointed out that these developmental genes are typically pleiotropic and, as such, could provide contentious comparisons between highly divergent organisms. To sum up, Holland pointed out that our lack of understanding of chordates' evolution stems from the limited fossil records that we have of its primitive forms. And although we have at hand numerous hypotheses and scientific tools such as EvoDevo, we would not be able to trace back its evolutionary starting point without first acquiring the necessary fossil evidence. Filling in this gap would thus help us understand how primitive chordates change over time to what we now see as diverse and more complex vertebrates, a notion that necessitates our collaboration in the present time to make sense of the past.